Today I fucked up by thinking my new headset was broken for 6 months. I bought a new Razer Kraken headset about 6 to 7 months ago, and at the time I didn't realize that there was a volume wheel. So I started to use it when I realized that it felt so quiet, so I unplugged them and put my shitty Sony headphones back in. A couple of days later I plugged the headphones back in, to see if anything had changed. Nothing. So I searched it up on the Razer forums, there were fixes but nothing worked. So I tried to use it in game when I bent over to get a can of Coke of the ground, when I accidentally turned up the volume wheel. Not knowing I had done this, I thought it was awesome. But about an hour later, somehow I accidentally turned it back down, and I thought it had broken itself again. Skip ahead 6 months or so, and I plug them in again because why not, and I realize there's a volume wheel. I turn it up, working. Good as new. And I spent the rest of the day feeling like the biggest idiot. Too long didn't read, bought a new headset, didn't realize there was a volume wheel. Thought the headset was broken because the volume wheel was turned all the way down. 6 months later, I realize the problem and feel like an idiot. Edit, thanks for all the internet points. If there's nothing about your problem on the internet, there's a high chance you are just stupid. Edit, holy shit, thanks for all the internet points and stuff, smile. For years I was convinced my headphones and my earbuds were defect. Turned out the audio splitter split the audio into left and right, and thus only the left signal went to my headphones and the right signal to my speakers. Felt like the biggest moron ever for not figuring this out earlier. If you thought they were broken, why would you not return them? Who sits on an expensive headset if you was to believe it didn't work? Because I was too annoyed at the time to return them at the time until I just forgot about them. I rediscovered them yesterday. I spent the first 6 months of baby's life using pushchair with the front brakes locked. It is in no way obvious that pushchairs' front wheels have locks. I told my sister how stiff it was to get around corners, and she, already 3 kids under belt, knew what the issue was and found it hilarious. After I received an Oculus Rift as a gift, I had it sitting on the back corner of my desk, fully connected, whilst I played another, non-VR, game with online players. People were complaining that my mic was really crappy and terrible quality. As I have quite a decent microphone setup, this irked me, but I wasn't able to troubleshoot in the middle of the match. It wasn't until afterwards that I discovered that my PC was taking the Oculus microphone as the input. I didn't even know the Oculus even had a microphone at that point. First world problems. Today I fucked up by having a really high pain tolerance. So bonus points because this actually happened today, but the story starts about a week and a half ago. Day 1, I am lactose intolerant, and I had a stomach ache. No big deal, I probably ate something I shouldn't have. No harm done. Day 4, stomach ache is still there. I'm a medical professional, I realized that my abdomen on my right lower side was what hurt. Wrote it off as having too much ice cream. Day 6, I thought to myself it could be appendicitis, but I shrugged it off because appendicitis is supposed to be super painful, right? This was like 4/10. Day 7, I realized I had a lump near my anus. I thought, oh, that's not good, probably just a hemorrhoid. I've had a few before, no biggie. Day 9, this hemorrhoid is the most painful one I've ever had. 6/10, I'll pick up some cream and Advil long-lasting relief capsules from Target, should be able to push right through. Day 11, I start my vacation tomorrow and am going out of town. I work in a hospital. For context, well, that hemorrhoid is really starting to hurt at this point, like a 7/10. So I go work thinking, okay, I can get a doctor to look at the hemorrhoid and give me some ointment or steroids. Well, I'm not having a vacation now, because I'll be in the hospital for a few days. Apparently my appendix ruptured a week ago and I just figured it was a stomach ache. Turns out that hemorrhoid was actually pain from the appendix ruptured radiating. The doctor told me that if I didn't come to the hospital within the next couple of days I'd be dead. TLDR, having a high pain tolerance finally has a downside. Didn't realize my appendix blew up until way too late. Ruined my vacation. Sorry for format, I'm on mobile. I'm also on Dilaudid and morphine, one then the other, so please go easy on me. Credit to my girlfriend who begged me to go to the hospital before vacation. I was going to hold off till after a 2-week vacation that I would have died on. Update: so I had a few people question why I felt pain by my anus and how was a lump formed. So I talked to a surgeon who finally spent the time explaining it. When my appendix ruptured, it caused everything else to inflame. The lump I was feeling was pus caused by the colon, and gravity causes it to go down. Update 2. Apparently I have Crohn's disease. Skeptical, lots of pain at the moment. I'll update once everything is for sure. You are not alone, buddy. The exact same thing happened to me, except the vacation part. I thought I was constipated, but after 5 days of feeling that way, I thought it was not normal. At hospital, I had a CAT scan, and they rushed me into surgery minutes later. The surgeon told me next morning that I came very close to dying, that the infection already started to spread, and she had no idea why I was not boiling with fever. My blood test confirmed that I was pretty sick. They put me on a big antibiotic treatment plus morphine for the pain. Then 3 days of hell in hospital with my body finally shutting down due to infection. They cleaned up as much as they could in surgery, but the damage was done. 24 hours before my surgery, I was playing golf with my dad. When he came to see me in hospital in the morning, he said what a dad would say in this occasion: I knew you were dying, that's why I let you win. My husband's appendectomy experience was similar. He had awful nausea and stomach pain for a couple of days, and I finally convinced him that he needed to see a doctor. We tell the doc my husband's symptoms and he has some tests run. Doc, your appendix needs to come out. My husband, can we schedule that for next week? I have to get back to work. The doctor's incredulous WTF face shut him up pretty fast, and he had surgery that afternoon. My husband, can we schedule that for next week? I have to get back to work. Doctor, your funeral. Yeah, we could set something up for next week. Similar thing happened to my dad. Day 1, wow, my chest really hurts, probably just indigestion. Day 2, this must be a bad case of it, huh? Day 3, yeah, I'll go see a doctor, why not? Later in day 3, the doctors told him he was having a heart attack and needed surgery now. That's funny, I had the opposite. Strong chest pain early in the morning, oh god, must be dying of heart attack. Go to emergency care, turns out it was just gas. My mom, pregnant with me, these can't be contractions, those are supposed to hurt like a son of a bitch. Let's get dinner. Me, here I am, in the passenger seat of a Subaru. Wah. -1 for not being in a child seat, you scoreflaw. At least your GF didn't have to write it today. I fucked up by forcing my sick partner go on vacation and they died post. Lol, that would have blown up. Today I fucked up by grunting while getting a blowjob. So I'll start by saying that this happened years ago while I was still a teenager in high school. I was dating a lovely lass, we'll call her Amanda, for just over 2 months. Her family went on a yearly trip to a roller coaster theme park. It was roughly 3 hours away. They invited me along and offered to pay for everything. Honestly, it was a great time. We left for our trip at around 2:30 to 3:00 a.m. So we slept sitting in the back seat for most of the ride. The park was a blast. Short lines, decent weather. There from open to close. Afterwards we stayed the night in a Holiday Inn and left in the morning to return home. We were riding in Amanda's dad's company car. It was a white 2005 Cadillac sedan. It was roomy but still not so much as to lay down unimpeded while sharing the back seat. Amanda's parents were in the front. Her dad was driving and she decided she was ready to nap. She put her head in my lap facing me and curled up in the rest of the bench-style seat. She rested a while, but I guess she got bored and decided to play a road trip game to pass the time. I wasn't aware we were going to play. Amanda started sneakily caressing my manhood with the hand under her snoozing head. I responded physiologically rather soon, as teenage boys will do, and quickly outgrew my pants. Now, of course, I was nervous. I could see her parents and was occasionally engaging in small talk. Through the rearview mirror they could check back and see my face, but not much lower. Amanda was wearing a hoodie with hood up and was laying mostly still. All of this only added to the excitement though. The risk was a reward to my adolescent mind and I sincerely doubted any repercussions. Anyways, my pants had seemingly shrunk and Amanda, having noticed my discomfort, took it upon herself to free me of their constraint. Now feeling the fresh air was a relief, but risk increased exponentially and so did the thrill. Amanda must have felt exactly the same way. So with thrill increased, the obvious solution was to hide my exposed member in her mouth. I was not against this one bit. However, I did have to bite my lip to stifle any verbal agreement to her action. We may have been young, and maybe because I was young, but Amanda was a goddess from the lips in. Every move she made was the exact right move. There's something alpha and strange about seeing the back of someone's head while exploring the back of their daughter's head. So there I am, trying to look natural in case they use the rearview mirror. Biting my lip, eyes wide open, mostly holding my breath. Looking natural. There she is. Looking asleep. Head slowly bobbing. Wet, soft, occasional, gagging noises. Normal sleep stuff. I'm starting to get close. Like 3 minutes in. Severe lasting power for my teenage self. We had developed little signals for this situation. The orgasm situation. Not the blown near parents situation. Worked for both thankfully. Little double tap on her shoulder to alert her of incoming babies. Lucky for me she was of the habit of consuming these salty potentials, which also was advantageous to this situation. Here's the fuck up. I'm starting to climax, trying to summon Lady Gaga's best poker face, holding my breath and turning red. I imagine my eyes rolled up into my skull for a brief moment because everything went black. I uttered a single soft grunt. The pivotal fuck up was less than a syllable. I refocused on the mirror to find her father quizzically looking at me. In less than 2 seconds, I'm not even through my throws, I fucked this entirely enjoyable situation up. With less than a syllable, I saw realization come across his eyes. Followed by anger. I hear a mutter of, WTF. I try to pull her head up just a bit. She slams back down in an attempt to contain catastrophe. However, some little bit of catastrophe escaped. A dime-sized drop of milk gooey catastrophe landed just behind her hood. In plain sight of Dad. Risk or danger tend to make sexual events that much more exciting. It makes them feel explosively more intense. Getting caught does not feel that way. It's like coming to the brink of orgasm and then getting shot in the nutsack with a BB gun after the first gush. That little dime-sized bit of full confirmation meant that I had to find my own way home. No yelling. No berating. Just, get out. And I did just that. Too long didn't read. I got head in the back of a car that was being driven by the girl's parents and was caught just as I finished. Edit, thanks kind stranger for the gilding. I think you got off easy. You got to leave that awful situation. Amanda had to sit there in the car with a mouth full of cum and face her parents. Wow. We'll call her Amanda. People should start using more creative names for their anonymous pseudonyms. Like we'll call her Balthazar. Quetzalcoatlus. Did you ever encounter the dad post-car blowjob? Dated the girl for 4 more years. I was a carefree adolescent. Wait, but what happened afterwards? Like, did you ever see the dad again? So many questions. Lol. Yup. I took his angry silence as acceptance. Did you ever grunt in front of the father after that? If so, did it trigger any response, like perhaps a golf club coming at your head? Surprisingly never attacked.